Hello again, my dear listeners. I'm Catherine Whitmore, and welcome to Real English Stories, where we explore life's most moving tales while improving your English. As you listen today, you'll hear useful past tense verbs, emotional vocabulary, and everyday expressions that you can use in your own conversations. So, make yourself a cup of tea, sit somewhere comfortable, and let me take you to the windswept coast of another life. Her name was Isabelle, and she lived in the harbour town of Rosehaven, a quiet corner of Cornwall where the sea whispered secrets to those who cared to listen. She was just 22 when she met Michael, a gentle young man who worked at a second-hand bookshop near the pier. He wasn't wealthy, nor did he stand out to others, but to Isabelle, he was everything. They were inseparable, dreaming together beneath weathered oak trees and leaning rooftops as rain pattered above. But one stormy afternoon, a misunderstanding sharp as broken glass tore them apart. Harsh words were exchanged. Pride stood in the way, and then silence. Isabelle waited, but Michael never came back. Weeks later, she discovered she was pregnant. Fear wrapped around her like a cold tide. She wrote to Michael, hoping to reach the kind man she remembered, but there was no reply. Not even one. When her daughter Sophie was born, Isabelle's heart overflowed with love, but also worry. Sophie had a rare illness, one that demanded constant treatment and costly medication. Isabelle had no job, no income, only determination. Her parents helped where they could, but it was never enough. She tried again this time, messaging Michael without anger, just a plea for support. At first, he refused. Months later, he reluctantly agreed to send £90 a month, a drop in a vast ocean of hospital bills. Years passed. Then, one quiet evening, Isabelle saw his face in a newspaper headline. Michael Turner, now a celebrated tech entrepreneur, hailed as a self-made success. He had a grand house in Kensington, a glamorous wife, 2 children, and the lifestyle of luxury private yachts, diamond gifts, exotic holidays. But never a word about the little girl he once ignored. Her heart broke all over again. She sent one last message only to find herself blocked. For a long time, she stayed silent. Then, out of desperation, she told her story publicly. The reaction was swift. Some people were shocked. Others doubted her, saying, "Why now? Because he's rich?" Those words hurt deeply. But Isabelle pressed on for Sophie. And then, nothing. No change, no help. Eventually, she let go of the fight, choosing peace instead. 2 years later, life surprised her. Isabelle met Daniel, a kind-hearted carpenter who loved her and Sophie with his whole soul. They married, building a modest home filled with warmth, laughter, and the comfort of second chances. Then, out of the blue, Michael called. He wanted to meet his daughter. Isabelle was stunned. Daniel supported her decision to say yes. They met on a sunny afternoon in a quiet park. Michael arrived with a small pink bicycle and a stuffed rabbit in his arms. When he saw Sophie, he broke down in tears. "I was wrong," he said. "I want to make this right." He handed Isabelle the deeds to a house in Sophie's name, paid all her medical bills, and created a trust fund for her future. But more importantly, he stayed. He began visiting every week, attending hospital appointments, and proudly saying the words, "my daughter." One day, his wife visited Isabelle. She took her hand and whispered, "Thank you for giving him a second chance. He's a better man because of your daughter." She began bringing gifts, even attending Sophie's school plays. It wasn't perfect, but it was filled with something more important than perfection: forgiveness, love, and hope. My dear listeners, life may not always give us justice at first, but sometimes, through honesty and courage, we discover peace and even second chances. As you reflect on today's story, I encourage you to notice the past tense verbs, the emotional vocabulary, and the expressions about relationships. Practice them in your own sentences. Because language is not just about words, it's about telling your truth. Until next time, I'm Catherine Whitmore. Stay kind, stay brave, and keep learning.